How's you going, boys? Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. I'm glad you're here. Lake start date 8th December 2024. First snow. Just want to show you around a little bit how beautiful it looks with fresh snow down. Everything looks so clean. And with Christmas just around the corner, it's nice to have the manger scene set up. God bless everybody, and I hope you all have a nice Christmas. It's a nice time of year for sure, especially with snow on the ground. So we're going to plow the lane this morning, and we're going to push the snow off the landing. And I was looking around for baloney tracks this morning, but I don't see any. So I guess we're not getting any balonies for Christmas. Let's get the tractor going. Hope it starts. So the first thing we're going to tackle here is we're going to get the tractor out, see if we can start it. So we have to open up the tractor shelter. This shelter, boy, I'm telling you, it's a shelter logic shelter, and the sun, the UV in the sun is just destroying it. The shelter is only about two years old, and it's toast. And especially this door that I'm opening up right now, she's really, like, I have a piece of pipe at the bottom to act as a weight so I can pull these ropes to roll it up. It's supposed to roll up nice and neat, but it's just so rotten it just won't work anymore. So anyhow, here we go, getting ready. First push of snow of the season. Here we go. Whoa, baby, buckle up now. Yeah, I love plowing snow. It's fun. I enjoy it. But you know, this is the first time I plowed this season, so I have to kind of get back in the groove of how I plow out everything. So the first push I make, I just go across the yard there, just make a path over beside where I parked the Bronco, and push the snow up there. Yep, there we go. Just get her in snuggle and nice and tight. So yeah, I have to figure out my routine again, right? Like I had her down pretty pat there come the end of the season last spring I mean, but now we're starting over. So now I think what I'm going to do is just try to make a run right out the lane. I'm going to plow the lane first, and then once I get the lane cleared out, I'll do the landings, the back landing and the side landing here. And you'll see there's not much snow down, but I don't have chains in the front of my tractor. And if you can notice, the front wheels, I have them turned hard to the right, and the tractor is still going straight. So I was using the blade to steer the tractor. Because there's no chains on the front and the snowblower's on the back, then the front of the tractor gets pretty light. So you can steer the tractor just by angling the blade, which way the snow pushes off the blade makes the tractor go one way or the other. So yeah, we're going to make a run out the lane here, plow the lane. And the way I plow my lane is I'll make a pass out both sides. I'll go out on this side, being tight to the right hand side, and then I'll come back in, plowing the other side tight to the edge, to the ditch side, and then I'll make another pass, go through the middle and plow snow off to the sides, and then I'll make a third pass doing this same run again, going out the edges. So 3 passes, 6 trips altogether. And the reason I do that is I like to make this first pass right close to the edge to sort of set the bank, the snow bank, the windrow. That's how wide the lane is going to be. What I used to find, if I started plowing in the middle and then to push out to the edges, by the time I got to the edges I couldn't make the lane as wide as I wanted to because the snow was just too deep. I mean, the snow's not deep here, but that was an issue that I had. So what I do now is I'll plow the edges first, then I'll plow the center, then I'll go back and do the edges again. So 3 trips, and I get my lane plowed out. Also out here at the road too, I spend some time clearing the end of the road, or I spend some time clearing the road at the end of our lane, I'm trying to say there, because when I used to plow the road, the windrows left on the road from people plowing their lane used to be hard on the gear. When you go over those, they'd freeze, and when you're plowing over them, they'd rattle and bang the plow and the tractor. So I like to spend some time at the end of the lane to clear the roadway off once I finish plowing. So I don't show that here because that's just back and forth plowing on the road. I just wanted to show you plowing up the lane. So, but yeah, I think it's important to clear off the road at the end of your lane because it makes the job easier for the guy who plows the roads. So here we're coming back in now, just finishing up the first pass. To me, a pass is a an out and back trip, a round trip. So I'm plowing out the edges there. You can see there's still a pile of snow in the center. But what I'll do next is I'll plow that center part away off to the edges, and then I'll do the edges again. So yeah, and my blade is a 60-inch wide blade on the tractor, and when I angle the blade like that, it's usually around 50 inches that it ends up being. I lose some width of it. But what I find then is by the time I finish plowing, I've got 3 blade widths wide of driveway, so that's 150 inches, which is just a little over 12 feet, pretty or 13 feet. So that's plenty wide enough for the lane. Like, cars can't pass on it, but it's good and wide. You don't have to worry about running into the snowbank when you're driving back and forth. And of course, depending on how much snow you get through the winter, sometimes the lane will get narrow. But then what I have to do is go sideways on the lane and push the banks down over the bank into the ditch. So I'm just finishing up my 3rd pass now, so this is the last trip coming back in, and after this the lane is cleared. And I've already cleared off the road part, so we're done in there. The tractor was working some good. It was a little hard to start. Remember the other day when I did my moving day video, I couldn't get the tractor started. I had to jump it with the Bronco. Well, today it was hard to start again, and I ended up getting the Bronco to start it. But there was, in my moving day video, I had lots of comments about why the tractor could be hard to start. But you know what? Steve Robb from Steve Robb Reviews, he's a good channel. If you get a chance, go check out Steve Robb at Steve Robb Reviews. He's a funny guy, fun guy to watch, and he does lots of good reviews, and he does good research on his reviews too. So, nice channel to watch if you get a chance. But anyway, Steve nailed what the problem was. He suggested that I had probably problems with cabling, bad connectors, corroded connectors, loose connectors or whatever. And he was right. My connectors going to my battery were well, not loose. I think they were covered with ice and they weren't making good connection. So yeah, Steve nailed it there. But anyway, I got the tractor going today and it's working pretty good. Now right here, I'm plowing off my back landing, and I don't have my snow wings on my blade to make it a snow pusher, so I'm making a whole pile of trips back and forth here to push the snow, because I like to make, when I plow, I like to have it nice and flat. Don't like to have little windrows in the plow area. I like to have it flat. So, and without the wings on the blade, those windrows, you know, it's hard to get rid of them. As you see here, I'm making a bunch of passes too, and every time I make one push down through here, I end up with some windrows. So I wish I had the wings on here, but I didn't, so I'm making lots of passes. And it was a nice day for plowing, so I didn't mind. But also plowing here too, I'm making sure I push the snow well back out of the way, because you always plow for the next storm, right? Or that's always my philosophy. Plow for the next storm so you have places to put the snow. So this is the first plowing of the season, so I want to make sure that I get the snow pushed back and out of the way as far as possible. So you'll see here I go right in underneath the playset there with the tractor to make sure I get the snow pushed well back out of the way, because I want to have room for the next snow to plow. And now we're going to do the same thing, plowing off the side landing and down by the fire pit. And I like to clear around the fire pit. We don't use the fire pit nearly as often as what we used to, but in case we ever do want to have a fire, it's nice to have access to the fire pit. Nice winter days, nothing nicer than go sit at the fire. So I'm stopping here because I've kind of finished off a little bit of pushing down there by the fire pit, and now I'm going to clear out where I parked the Bronco, so I have to go get the Bronco and move it out of the way. So there it goes. The Bronco, by the way, the Bronco is working good. I like the Bronco, but the only complaint I have about the Bronco is the seats are uncomfortable. Hard to believe, eh? Nice big rig like that, but the seats are uncomfortable. But other than that, she's great. I get great mileage on the Bronco too. The last going off there, I think it's saying 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers, but it usually averages around between 6.8 and 7 liters per 100 kilometers. So I think that's excellent mileage. I'm very happy with the Bronco. So now we're going to do some more plowing down here in front of the maple shack in the woodshed. I like to push, again, I like to push the snow well out of the way because it is the first snow. Sometimes we want to make, sometimes if we want to make access to the lake, this is the way we would access the lake in the winter. We would go down this side trail here. So I want to make sure that I get the snow pushed down there out of the way good, so that it's easier to make access to the lake. you never know, you know. Years ago, not years ago, but several years ago, the kids used to come out and we'd clear the lake off and we'd skate there in the winter, but we haven't done that for many years now, so you never know, though. Maybe this winter we'll start again. Okay, so we're finished clearing off there by the fire pit and down over by the woodshed and the bank, so we're going to start clearing in front of the shop now. And I just pushed that snow away, push it over by the garden. And you can see here, as I'm plowing this, I'm angling the blade to the left and making a windrow on the left-hand side of the tractor. So it ends up, by the time you plow off all that landing, it ends up with quite a bit of snow there in the middle. So what I like to do is push all that then right across the landing out over to the other side of the driveway. You see that coming up here in a second. But before I do that, I think I clue in, yeah, here I'm stopping now because I'm going to go and put the wings on the blade to clear up this last bit of snow because it's just too much back and forth. And this is quite a long run that I make here with the tractor to push it right across over the bank on the back side of the back landing. So putting the wings on is going to save a lot of backing up with the tractor. So we're getting the wings out, going to put those on. These wings making the plow into a snow pusher, I'm glad I did that. That's a great modification that I made because especially for clearing off the landing, like when you're plowing a lane or a road, that's different because you angle the blade and you just roll the snow off to one side or the other. But when you're plowing the landing, you don't want the snow to roll off the blade. You want it to stay on the blade to minimize the windrows. So consequently, having the wings on there keeps the bulk of the snow anyways on at the front of the blade, and you'll see that here as I start to plow. I have the wings on now, though you can't see them, but they're there. Some of the snow still does spill out over the side, so you do still get some windrows. Like that's what's ahead of me there. I plowed that without the wings, so you see the big windrows. But so now I have the wings on, and the windrows are a lot less. As you see there, that's quite a little small windrow, so I'm just cleaning that up with one pass. Whereas before that big windrow, it would take probably 3 passes. You'd have to plow the windrow away and then plow the 2 windrows that you create. But with the wings on there, you don't have that issue. So it tends to be quite a little bit of snow there, and that's a long push right across the property that way, right across the landings. And you'll notice too, once I get in the bank, I'll wiggle the blade from side to side. I do that for a couple of purposes. One is to, there you go right there, that one is just to get the snow off the blade. But sometimes while I'm still up onto the snowbank, I'll angle the blade back and forth because that pushes the snow over back in the bank. And again, what I'm doing, or the reason I do that, is to make room for more snow. So yeah, I'm pushing this bank over there, that snow over the bank quite far, because I want to make sure I have room when it snows again. And then just a little bit of finish work here, and then the landing will be done. I skipped ahead a couple of parts here because just for time constraints in the video. Watch out for that stump! Oh! Whoops. Cut that one a little close. There we go. Yeah, I cut out a lot of parts of it just for time constraints in the video because I don't want the video to be an hour long. So I skipped ahead a little bit. But there we go. I really like the wings, eh? The wings make a big difference when you're plowing off the land. And that's it. We're finished. We're just back in the tractor now, back into the shelter where we started. And the first day of plowing snow is over. And I think it was a success. We just parked the old Massey back in the shelter and shut her down. So, nice to get the lane plowed. First time this winter. Turned out not too bad. Hard to see in the sun here. Sun shining right in our eyes. Nice. Now I have to go get the Bronco, bring it back and put it here beside the camp. I'm going to go in and warm my toes. Thanks a lot for watching, folks. I sure hope you enjoyed this snow plowing video, first one of the season. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.